Okay, do we have everybody here? All right, I guess we'll get underway. So welcome everybody to our Town of Neepawa Council meeting for June the 15th. And if everybody's had a chance to review the agenda and everybody's comfortable with that, can I get a motion to move forward with the agenda? Moved by Councilor Drive, seconded by Deputy Mayor Headley. Be it resolved that we approve the regular meeting agenda for June the 15th, 2021. All in favor? Carried. Okay, and the minutes. Everybody's had a chance to review last meeting's minutes, and if everybody's comfortable with that, can I move forward with a motion on that? Moved by Councilor Kostachuk. Seconded by Councilor Miller. Be it resolved that we approve the minutes of the regular meeting held June 1st, 2021 as circulated. All in favor? Carried. Okay, we're into council reports. I don't know if anybody has anything tonight. Everybody's pretty quiet.
Yeah, I'll make a statement.
Okay, Councilor Perry.
If you have an issue at 6 o'clock in the morning, the protocol is to call the town office, not Councilor Perry.
But we will be here at 6 o'clock.
Or Councilor Gerard.
Or Councilor Costa.
Okay, thank you, Murray. Okay, that's it for the council reports. Okay, moving on. I think where's Denise?
Denise actually away on vacation leave. If you have questions, I might be able to answer.
Oh, okay.
Is there any questions that, he didn't leave me a report.
Okay, no, I just thought he was going to be here. I'm sorry. Okay.
I could maybe just announce that there is on Walker Avenue, there's work ongoing currently with improvements and remediation of flood efforts so that improved drainage will occur in that area. So those that have noticed that, that's what's going on there. Go ahead.
Just a question on how long they could foresee Brown being closed between Mill Street and Banana Hill. To make it known to our residents there. Any idea how long that?
We're currently looking into this, so people know what's going on. The microseal that's going to occur is going to exclude that piece on Brown Banana Hill basically because of the severe washouts and the impact of that road there, and we can't just microseal it. So we're looking at when the actual paving company comes in, that is going to be a paving patch, which will be a lot more significant and stronger than what a microseal is going to be. So we're going to look at the fact that the recent rain that we've had here took a big chunk of that and washed it down, because we also do not want to have gravel running down the hill and into our microseal, which is going to cause a lot of damage. So we're going to try and work. Denise will be back on Thursday. We're going to see if we can talk to the paving company as well as the microseal people and see how that gets coordinated. Unfortunately, if it's going to be a length of time and we have to keep repairing Brown such that it is impacting the microseal or not working for us, we might have to keep it closed until we're paving. We're hoping not, but we'll see when the paving crew is going to be here.
So any idea what the microseal crew is?
The microseal crew was talking about being here, I think, I would have to ask our mayor, but I think in the next 2 weeks.
Yeah, Dean kind of more or less said, yeah, soon, very soon, in the next couple of weeks, at the latest. Yeah.
So we'll post out for everybody knowing which streets they'll be on, so.
So I hope it's timely, but I can't guarantee. We're at the,
Oh, we always do a cement patch and microseal over the cement.
well, we even talked about bringing in a lift of asphalt, just some hot mix and plugging that. The problem is, though, we would have to rip that back out when the paving crew came to do it properly, and that is not good dollars spent. So we'll do our best. That's all I can offer you.
No, perfect.
Any other questions? Maybe just for the public, we had a quick meeting with Stantec today to help proceed us through our Park Lake restoration and remediation. Looking at our time frames, clearly this year there's going to be a lot of permitting issues with, I would suggest, I didn't count them, a dozen different departments. This is just what's going to be required. There is no historical information on Park Lake being registered as a water reservoir body anywhere in anybody's notes in the province of Manitoba. And we have to comply with the Canadian Dam Association standards now if we want Park Lake rebuilt under the DFA program. So we're going to proceed to do that, get hopefully the licensing in place, maybe proceed through the winter with stockpiling some materials, because we also recognize we will have issues with large trucks transporting across our residential streets, so we don't want those impacted. And just very rough guess, and I'm sure, we can't tie ourselves to that, but hopefully by, the end of 2022, we are significant enough that maybe by 2023, the water can start filling back into Park Lake and get us back to some normalcy.
Okay, thank you, Colleen, Denise. So, correspondence, Neepawa Kinsman Senior Citizens Housing.
I'll just read you a letter we received. I'm writing this letter as the Executive Director of Kinsman Courts 1 and 2 in Neepawa to request funding to assist in the furnishing of the Kinsman Courts 2 assisted living residence for senior citizens in Neepawa. In 1982, the Neepawa Kinsman felt they could serve the community's greatest need by constructing housing for seniors. In order to assist in obtaining the funding, a non-profit board was struck and called the Neepawa Kinsman Senior Citizen Housing Incorporated. Their mandate is to provide affordable housing to seniors in our community, and they own and operate Kinsman Courts 1 and now Kinsman Court 2. Through a community survey, they found that the assisted living component is what the community really needed for seniors, and therefore the journey to create the facility started. And of course, you can follow them on our webpage if you want to see their progress. The building is roughly a $10 million project. They've been able to obtain a CMHC mortgage for the construction of the building. Construction is scheduled to be completed this August. As is the norm, the CMHC mortgage covers construction of the building, but it is a responsibility of the group to provide aesthetic decor of the building, such as furnishing, wall hangings, exercise equipment, recreation supplies, and landscaping. This cost is estimated close to $300,000. Although community fundraising has taken place and will continue, we are a long way from that goal, and therefore we would respectfully request a monetary donation from your organization to cover some of these costs. We would be happy to recognize your generosity throughout the community in the new Kinsman Courts 2 building. So they hope to have residency in the 48-suite facility by the fall of 2021. The goal is to purchase all of the requested items prior to the opening, and would like to hear of our intentions at the earliest convenience. Of course, if we have any questions, they'd be interested in discussing that with us and thank us.
Okay, any comments? I know it's the first time most of the council has heard that letter, so I'm not sure that's something we want to think about, talk about before we make a decision, or do we go back to where we said, they wanted that parking lot, the old resource center, and we made the motion here to, although it had a value of $50,000 placed on it, we sold it to the Kinsman for $25,000, saying that we wanted to be part of their progress and to support them in their project. Tara?
Well, I mean, it's definitely something for consideration, but in light of when our budget and our application for grants, it makes it tough after the fact because it would mean shuffling budget on other items. But I mean, I guess as a council we can discuss it at a later date. But yeah, difficult when a budget's already been struck, and those challenges are there all the time, especially in light of COVID and things like that. Our budgets are stretched continuously, so.
Okay, so for the moment, we'll table it and.
Yeah, I think so. I agree. Both councilors, Gerard and I, are on the finance committee, and yeah, it's we work on these things through the winter and that to prepare for the year, and it's just the timing. Tremendous project. Neither one of us would ever say anything but admiration for the group going ahead with a project like this, but timing for us is a little bit tough.
Okay, so we'll get back to that at a later date. Okay, new business. We're looking at a subdivision on the Gray Farms. Oh, sorry. Oh, wait, okay. Harold Gerard's removing himself from conflict.
So this is subdivision file number 4437-21-8280. The applicant is Christensen PDS and the registered owner is Gray Farms Limited. The property to be subdivided is northeast of 2014-15, and just for awareness for those watching, this is the property that would be known as the Chicken Barn property over to the west of the Tim Hortons structure. Bray Farms is the registered owner of the property, which is located in the town of Neepawa. There are no buildings on the property to be subdivided. The intent of the application is to create one new lot for a new commercial use. And so the new lot, out of a larger parcel of 140 some acres, will be created to be a 3.44 acre parcel along PTH 16 in the northwest corner of the parcel. The subject property is designated highway commercial area according to the Neepawa Area Planning District Development Plan bylaw, and policies within the development plan are supportive of commercial development. In the zoning bylaw, the property is classified as CH Commercial Highway Zone, and everything is supportive there as well. Through the circulation process, through the province of Manitoba, the comments that were returned were land titles will require a one-lot plan subdivision as proposed, and MTS and all other agencies had no comments or concerns. So for planning discussion and recommendation, with no planning or land use planning issues identified, approval of the subdivision will be subject to any provincial requirements, such as I mentioned with the plan survey, and anything that council would deem as necessary. I referred this to the Office of the Planning, and we can't think of any other condition that you would require. It's just a simple severing of a small 3.44 acre parcel there.
Okay, any questions, any comments?
So looking at the map, see, because it's a brand new build, there's not already accessibility to this piece of property. It is adjacent to a road, the road that goes to the care home.
Yeah, they can have access off that.
Right. I live in the area, and what I do notice is that the paramedics with the ambulance go flying down there. I know looking at the Bray development plans in the past, they were looking at accessing from Dominion Road quite a bit too. I'm just curious, what approach are they considering? Are they approaching from the road that goes to the care home? Or are they approaching from the highway itself?
No, it'll come off of Dominion. Manitoba infrastructure will not allow any more accesses on PTH 16 or 5.
Okay. And would they be allowed to have as many accesses as they want, or just one?
Normally, you're granted one.
One? Do we know what type of business would be going there?
No.
Okay. Those are all my
Right
questions.
now, it could be anything. It could be,
Yeah.
they could have literally severed off the whole front side on PTH 16, divided it up like we did in Industrial Park. We created 2 acre lots. So that was just speculation for our part and preparing land. So I'm going to guess it's a similar idea that there's an idea that's been floated, and they're going to, it takes a while to get a subdivision through, so they're planning.
Right.
Okay, anybody else? Okay, we'll move forward with this resolution then. Moved by Councilor Parrott, seconded by Councilor Kostenchuk. Be it resolved that we approve subdivision 4437-21-8280 of Bray Farms Limited to subdivide Lot 4, Plan 6366, PT Northeast 2914-15 West to allow for the creation of a 3.44 acre lot for commercial use. All in favor? Carried. Okay, council meetings, we normally at this time of year discuss whether we're just going to have our one meeting a month in July and August. I think that's what's occurred for the past few years. Is everybody comfortable with that? If we do that again? Any comments about it? Or we can always hold a special meeting if we have to, but.
Like last year, like many.
Yeah, okay. Well, we're hoping it doesn't occur again.
It's always the intention, but more times than not, I'm just meeting every week in the summer, it seems.
So for the moment, the intention is to have one meeting in July and one meeting in August. We're comfortable with that. Okay, we'll move forward with that motion. Moved by Councilor Kostenchuk. Seconded by Councilor Jarrett. Be it resolved, for the months of July and August, Council approved the holding of only one regular council meeting per month, date to be set at July 13th, 2021 and August 10th, 2021. All in favor? Carried. Okay, we're moving on to moving a dwelling into town. Yes, Councilor Parrott's going to remove himself from possible conflict. Okay, Colleen.
So under your policy, when a pre-existing house and the intent is to move it into town of Neepawa from another jurisdiction, we have a policy, a move-in policy. The idea of a move-in policy is such that should the house not meet the requirements of zoning or any, or they just want to move something in, it's not aesthetically pleasing, we have the ability then to hold their feet to the fire and make sure they can meet certain requirements. They have to tell us how they bring it here, show us a route of transportation. They have to compensate if they ruin infrastructure on the way in. So we have that policy. In the policy, it states that they enter into a development agreement to do that. Because we just sold this particular lot to Lake Agassiz Builders and the one south of it, so these would be the two northern lots on the RT, two-family residential section of the CN development that would be considered on Ray Avenue. So this would be the most northern one. The person that wants a house there has a house already picked out. It is from out of town. So rather than enter into another development agreement, like we did with the purchase and sale agreement when we sold them the lot, because all of the stipulations are already in there. The only thing it is missing is adherence to the policy to move a building in. So I'm asking you to pass a resolution that in addition to following all of the requirements of the land, purchase and land sale agreement policy, that they also follow the policy to move the building in. Jeff Braun, our building inspector, is very much in support of this. It will be acceptable to bring it in. They'll meet the time frames. Just quickly read. He already has an engineer plan for the foundation, new heating and ventilation system to be installed. The house meets the requirements of the code for insulation values, and the foundation has been designed to address any structural issues for the house. Siding is to remain as existing, with new similar siding to be installed to match in any affected areas, and also as coverage of a new foundation. Work inside will be addressed on site as needed. Porch, which is shown in the pictures, is to be removed with a new porch added to the south side of the building. And if you've all had a chance to look at the pictures, it's definitely came with no concern from the Office of the Planning Board.
Okay, any questions, any comments?
Looks like a reasonable place.
And I'm going to think they went this road a little bit too, because with the lumber shortage, maybe it made more sense to get this there quickly and get it actually occupied, but I can't speak to
Okay. Well, what we're being told is they're following all the rules?
that. Yes,
Yep.
Jeff didn't have any other concerns? with it?
none.
So what's the minimum size of home that we can bring in, like, into Neepawa?
1,000 square.
Right? Just looking at the footprint, like the house itself is less than 1,000, but they're gonna add on a porch.
Yeah, by the time it's done, it will meet all the requirements. And even if it didn't, he would have the ability to request a variance. But Jeff he said by the time this is done, it will be exact.
Okay.
Okay, there's nothing else, we'll move forward with that resolution. Moved by Deputy Mayor Hedley. Seconded by
Gary,
Councilor Putnam. Be it resolved that we approve the request of Dave Leffler to move a residential structure onto Lot 1 Plan 65638 27 Ray Avenue, subject to meeting all requirements of the purchase and sale agreement for this lot and policy ECO number 004 respecting the requirements for moving a building into town. All in favor? Carried. Okay, we're moving into the second and third reading of our bylaw for water and wastewater. Is there anything that we need to mention about it? We've already made the first reading.
Comment?
Go ahead, go ahead, Councilor.
I'm reading through it, I noticed that they had 10 years down on clause 82 for the sewer renewal, and we changed it to 20.
Okay.
Because a 10-year sewer is, I think, just a typo.
Okay.
So
But
just-
is it changed?
So just to clarify what Councilor Parrott's referring to, we have a section now, say for example, we're going to renew a whole street, put in new water mains and new sewer mains, we're going to pave it, we're going to completely renew it. You have the ability now to require everybody to participate in that program. Because quite often in an old section of town, you spend all that money and none of the property owners want to participate. Then next year, they have an issue, and we're starting to rip up our street. So the clause basically said any lines that were older than 10 years old need to participate. And of course, then there's requirements, if you're adamant you're not, then you kind of get penalized somewhat for waiting. There are options. Councillor Barrett suggested that should be probably 20 years, because 10 years on a sewer or water line is not necessarily old enough that we may be concerned about.
Okay. Anybody else? Okay, we will move forward with the second reading. Moved by Councilor Barrett. Seconded by Councilor Costigan. Be it resolved that bylaw number 3204-21 being a bylaw of the town of Neepawa respecting the management and regulation of the water and wastewater systems be now read for a second time. All in favor? Carried. Okay, we're now going to move forward on the third reading. That's a recorded vote. And again, moved by Councilman Liddell. Seconded by
Here.
Councilman Butler. Be it resolved that bylaw number 3204-21 being a bylaw of the town of Neepawa respecting the management and regulation of the water and wastewater systems be now read for a third time and passed. All in favor? Carried. I see you with, yep, okay, perfect. That vote was unanimous in favor. Okay, I guess it's a short meeting tonight. Anybody else have any other things, business they want to talk about?
We got any flower beds, like the big flower beds going in the cemetery?
Not yet. So just an update on the cemetery. Tree removal has taken place. I think we've had 2 shipments of trees, at least, if not 3 already. Tree replacement has already started, and we're grinding off stumps up there as well. The soil conditioning continues. We've had some really good comments about the level ground that exists there. Unless the grass gets going, it's going to be good. We have had a few instances where people have decided to, honor their loved ones by, digging up the ground and planting some flowers. Unfortunately, they had to be notified, and this one particular instance, the soil conditioner was going to be going down the next day. They were giving a time frame to save their flowers or have them relocated into a bed somewhere in town. So we're not just, bringing them out and throwing them away. We're trying to work with people, but please do not plant anything up. It's going to be killed through, and we can't just go around it. It becomes an obstacle now. So.
Anybody else?
I was just wondering if we could comment on any plans or ideas we have for Canada Day.
None. In that vein, restrictions are in place now, the COVID restrictions, so I think it's the 26th of June. We have had many calls of different things, including, I'll include Brad as one of the more recent. We certainly feel for a lot of these people who feel they cannot celebrate. There's funerals, people trying to make funeral arrangements. There's people trying to book parks for weddings, you name it. The bottom line is, there's a section in the public health orders that clearly speaks of a gathering. So if you consider yourself that maybe you are trying to separate, but if you're all coming together for the same common purpose, with the same intent, it's called a gathering. It doesn't matter if you're standing 6 feet apart anymore. It's a gathering. So, not to pick on Brad, just because it's the most recent example, coming in different cars and keeping separate and wearing your mask. If you were asked why are you there, you're there for Brad. And if there's 100 families there for Brad, that's now a gathering. It doesn't matter if there's 10 there for that same purpose. It's a gathering. We cannot breach the public health orders. We cannot condone or give permissions that we are not allowed to give. The public health inspector we work very closely with, she feels as well for everybody, but gets extremely frustrated when she has to tell people no. There's been instances where they even went to their legal advisors to see if there's something that could be done, whether it be, riding on a float or whatever separate. It's still a gathering. It's very, very clear. As much as we all would like this to change, I think we're bound by waiting till the 26th. These things could change tomorrow even. Maybe they get enough pressure they change it tomorrow. But we can't do anything outside of that. community support will not make the orders change, is the bottom line. So, you know, we apologize to everybody that calls us and is trying to set a funeral for the weekend and, you know, with the understanding, well, the orders will be different by then. Well, but we don't know that. So we just have to work with what we're given and support that, and that's the best we can really do.
Yeah, I know everybody's getting very frustrated, and hopefully we're close to the end, and like you say, the 26th of June, maybe we'll get some new orders.
Well, we're down to just over 100 today, so it's looking good.
Yeah, I know it's looking good. Okay, if there's nothing else, I guess we'll move forward with adjournment. Move by
Aaron?
Councilor Pedalo, second by Councilor Costa. Be it resolved, the Council of Town of Neepawa now to adjourn this regular meeting council at 7:30 p.m. All in favor?